Good evening, everybody. This meeting of the City of Kingston Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. It is 6:05. My name is Brian Cafferty, and I'll be chairing these proceedings. I will take a moment to explain how the Zoning Board of Appeals functions. The board is comprised of 5 members and 2 alternates. We have been appointed to serve the citizens of the City of Kingston. We perform this service to the best of our abilities on a volunteer, unpaid basis. The other board members are Anthony Gonzalez.
Mary McDowell.
And is Donna on? No. Is Donna
Oh, I
online?
see Donna on there.
Can you-
If you
So-
unmute yourself, Donna.
So Donna
I
Martin.
did. I just unmuted myself. Donna Martin here.
Donna
You
Martin.
look good,
There
kid.
she is. You're looking.
Thank you.
looking pretty chipper there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so far, so good.
good, very good.
There will be a period of public comment this evening after each variance request has been presented. This period is an opportunity for individuals to make a statement of opinion, not to engage in debate. Each speaker must state their name and address for the record. Speakers must be brief and to the point to allow everyone a chance to speak. Speakers must address the board as a whole, not individual members, and not other speakers or audience members. A professional demeanor is expected. And with that, I would like to invite our one applicant this evening to come forward. I don't have an agenda in front of me because,
Yeah, since it's being recorded, you want to just maybe say that the person's not here.
yeah, have a seat for 1 second. I just one other bit of business I need to take care of. What was that?
For the recording in the minutes, say the first person on the agenda didn't show up. Eric said that, too.
Whatever.
That was before we were on the record.
There, yeah. So, Marianne Snyder, they got their, times and, dates messed up, so they're not here. So we're skipping right to, B, but the first thing I want to do is ask if I can get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Okay, so. Okay. You're up.
All right,
Why
well,
don't you give us a little rundown of what it is that you're in?
well, first off, I want to thank you guys for everybody here for hearing me. Just going through the variance, I mean, the ordinance and trying to find which section I needed to apply a variance for was maybe want to pull my hair out. So I respect what you do and I appreciate your service to the community.
Thank you.
So I'm applying for a variance for section 405-19B2, which indirectly states that properties in the Rondout district are not allowed to be used as hotels. And in July of 2022, short-term rentals are now considered hotels, from my understanding. And the only reason I'm applying for this variance is due to the financial strain of this property and the future financial strain if I'm forced to either sell it or rent it out long-term as a residential property. A brief history of the property. I bought the property in June of 2019. I bought it from an elderly gentleman who no longer lives at the residence. And with that, in early 2019, there was a pipe that exploded on the second floor, causing all kinds of damage, rot, structural damage, mold, you name it. So I knew that coming in. I had a budget for repairs, which I believe would have been accurate if not for a few factors, the main one being COVID, which made material prices to increase 3 to 4 times what they were in 2019, as well as incompetent contractors, which you're supposed to No, but I got some stories that'll blow your head off. I had a contractor who was involved in the Capitol riot and got arrested, so I can no longer contact him anymore. So that's just one of the many. So what I've done is I've included, I hope that you guys got it, I included a summary of costs, of renovation costs, as well as purchase price. And I've included an after renovation value that I have from a local realtor. And unfortunately, I didn't send that the first time, but I do have it with me if anyone wants to verify it.
Did we get that? I don't remember.
We're very high on the firewall here in the city of Kingston.
I tried to
He
send it.
tried to send something that was very large and you got the link with all the receipts there. He just sent this like, he said, what,
I
two
sent on
days?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I tried
Do
to
you
get
have
it.
So what do you have?
Yeah, so I do have, this is the realtor's estimate of the property with all the comparable sales. This is the other realtor's estimate.
Estimate of value or rental?
Rental value, not rental value. This is the resale value, this is the rental value. Two different realtors and two different price reports.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Are you saying that if you were to rent this in a traditional way, you're saying that that's a financial hardship?
Correct. If I were to rent it in traditional way, with the amount that I spent on it, I would be in a negative cash flow moving forward for many, many years. If I were to sell it now, I would lose a significant amount of money due to the current value of the home.
Just the rental.
That's the rental, yes. And I've also included a screenshot of a website for short-term rental estimates, which is pretty accurate.
It's a two-family?
It's a two-family that was converted to a one-family. So this is what it used to look like.
Okay, so it was a two-family converted to a one-family,
Correct.
and now you want to rent it as a short-term rental?
Yes.
The whole building is one unit?
Yeah, the whole,
Okay, let's cut to the chase on this thing. What is the value they're saying?
it's,
That's just like too many pages.
yeah, these are all just the homes that sold. This
Yeah.
is the analysis. That's the summary analysis. So 387 is what the realtor, and this was fairly recent. I believe this was the beginning of February that this report was
And
printed.
how big is this house? What's the square footage?
1,800 square feet.
1,800 square feet, 386, okay. And it's in the roundout on
Correct. It's on West Huron Street.
West Piedmont. And you paid how much for it?
I paid $45,000 because of all the damages.
So you paid $45,000 and how much did you spend on it?
About 410, I think, because of COVID and incompetent contractors. And I needed to get it done. It was at a point where there was no certificate of occupancy, so I couldn't sell it, I couldn't rent it. So I had no choice but to hire different contractors to fix the mistakes. And the saga, it was a whirlwind of events.
Okay. So, and what are they saying you can rent it for?
3,100 if I can find someone that wants to rent a 4-bed, 3-bath home, which is, it could be hard to find.
Not in this market.
Not in this
You
market.
have a rent in 2 days.
Funny you say that because
Well, I don't know about $300, but
Yeah, I mean, that's.
is it furnished?
it's not furnished, but I would furnish it if I did do a short-term rental.
Okay. So,
How are you guys? Did you guys request this here tonight?
No,
not that we don't like to see your smiling face.
I'm just asking because if now we're gonna go clear and go to another call, that's all.
There you go.
We're good. You can take tampon.
You were really worried about me.
Okay, so here's the deal. There are people, this code has changed it, they made short-term rentals essentially hotel rooms. And if you're in an area of the city where you want to do a short-term rental, but hotels are not allowed, then the short-term rental is not allowed. That's the code for now. It will be changing in the future. How much further down the road, I don't know how. And I don't know, we don't have a final iteration of what the new code will look like, but it will be different than it currently is. So what people have done, they've just rented their homes conventionally. I will put it to you, I will suggest to you that there are other ways to rent the home to potentially yield, a higher amount. It's not a short-term rental, but it's not a long-term rental. There are a number of people that are renting for 30, 90-day increments, often 90-day. Anything over 30 days is not a short-term rental.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of traveling nurses, medical professionals, and they need furnished places, and they rent for a higher amount of money per month than if you were just doing a straight up rental long-term and the place wasn't furnished. The problem that we have is that the code really prohibits us from at this point doing these kinds of variances, because if we do a variance for you, a use variance for you, we will have everybody that, and we just recently had a person in here just a couple of months ago, same situation, wanted to do it, and we basically turned them down. My concern is setting that precedent, and I'm not entirely sure that even if you were to go the full route of trying to show financial hardship here, that you can't get some kind of reasonable rate of return by some other form of renting other than short-term rental. And I will tell you that you might actually like the way the 30, 90-day type of rentals work, because you're not changing sheets every week.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. But those are my concerns. Is there anybody online or in the public that has a comment about this
Nobody's online.
thing? Okay. Any of the board members, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I entirely agree with everything that you just said, but one of the things that does get me here, and the information you put here, you're saying that you've got your one of the arguments you're making for your hardship includes almost $700,000 loan on a property that you're saying you've got $450,000 into. So where's the rest of the money?
I had to take out a loan on that property to pay for this. I don't remember seeing 400,000 on this.
You said your renovation costs were $410,000 and you spent $45,000 on the property.
Correct.
Okay,
You have a $700,000.
you have a $686,000 mortgage according to your document here.
I do.
Yes, so where's the rest of the money?
Well, that's just that mortgage on my primary, but I had to take a cash out. I only took cash out of that for, I believe it was 200, and then I took a HELOC out for another 200. I don't remember where I put on there that was 700.
You said amount of the loan outstanding debts against the property, $686,000.
And I have a question on that one.
I thought that was,
Because how is it that a property that's only worth $386,000 can actually have that kind of debt?
oh no, that was 686.00. I'm sorry, is that,
That's the loan?
Oh, that's the
so that
loan.
is the
Oh, that's the amount
interest
you pay monthly?
that I'm paying.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I apologize, that does look like a,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So,
Well, it does say per month.
per month, yes.
So it's $6,000 a month?
No, 686
Oh,
is the interest I'm charged on, and that's a very.
On the HELOC?
Correct.
On the HELOC. Yeah. And what's your mortgage payment?
Mortgage payment is 2,000 a month, but I didn't include that in this because that's my primary residence mortgage. I did take out cash out on that, but I'm not including that in my basis for the.
You have $1,881 of your mortgage payment.
Correct, which I'm gonna need to take out a mortgage on this 81 West Pierpont property in order to pay back these loans.
But basically, if you want to try to make an argument for financial hardship, you need accurate and well-defined financial data.
Well,
This is not
I
that. So
just tried to put in local interest, current interest rates, which
Okay.
currently is really.
I'm looking at this, I'm like, none of this stuff doesn't make any sense, so.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't know if I should have put that 686 in, because that says on the property now, and it's
Yeah.
not really on the property, it's on my primary residence property.
You're right there?
Yeah, this doesn't work.
I honestly don't know whether you're gonna be able to, yield that much more money as an Airbnb
Well,
than if
I
you.
definitely won't get wealthy.
Maybe
It's,
not even-
the numbers that I rent, oh, and I did include it in here.
For Airbnb.
For an Airbnb, for a short-term rental, it was, I believe, the estimate that they gave on this Airbnb site, which is reasonably accurate, is 4,800 a month, which is a little more than the 3,100. So it's not like I'm making a lot of money. I'm just trying to stay afloat.
What are you proposing to rent the place for?
What do you mean for, it depends on the time of year. So there's,
Well, roughly a median per night rent,
it's about 293 a night.
okay? And what do they say what do they estimate the occupancy to be?
45%, which seems to me pretty high, but I know this town is very, very popular.
93, so 365. 45, did you say?
45%, correct. I don't know if you received this. I sent this with the receipts, I believe.
So basically, what they're saying, if you do 45%, which like you said, it was a little on the high side, and that's the median, you're
Correct.
talking about $4,000 a month.
Correct.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I think you can get close to that by renting it as a short-term rental to
Like
on
a
30, 60, 90 day type of thing, probably. Well, I guess all I'm saying is the hardships. It's looking a little difficult.
Well, just to put it into perspective, I do own another property in Midtown, and it's been vacant since November, and it is at a market value, market rate, rental rate. So it's been really hard to try and find full-term rentals for this property.
In Kingston?
In
We have a
Kingston.
housing shortage.
I just listed 3 units on Monday, they're all rented already.
That's what
I
mean.
wish.
We have a housing-
Everyone.
It's a
I've got
two-family.
maybe
one's rented.
70 applicants.
Yeah, that's what. The people.
I think it's time for me to fire my.
I don't know who you're working with, but I ain't the right person.
Oh, well, it also depends on the rental cost too.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did a comparable analysis, and it was
What are you trying to rent it
1,500,
That's not.
for? An apartment,
an apartment,
a one bedroom?
1 bedroom.
Oh,
That's not,
That's a little on the high
that's
side.
very little on the high side, but, 1386 is the affordable, which
Which
is
is what I
8%
said.
of my affordable,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean.
You're having a hard time renting a one bedroom apartment in
I
Kingston?
can't, yeah, that's a.
In
Well,
Uptown, did you
So
say?
where is it
Midtown.
In
exactly?
Midtown?
It's right by the Burger King on it. It's on Levon Street.
Oh, I know that area. That sounds
It's a beautiful.
surprising to me. I am going to just, can we take a break for 1 second?
Absolutely.
go on to file break.
Yeah, I mean, did you read all the criteria to like meet a use variance? Like in the application, there's this.
Yes.
page, Yeah.
Yes, oh, yeah,
So they're gonna have to go through all that criteria with you and basically discuss each and every one of those points, and you're gonna have to be able to provide a counter to them in order for them to potentially grant it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it is a very, very high
it's a
threshold.
very high bar, yeah. I mean, and then one part of the discussion that Brian really tried to get at in these conversations always is the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return, provided the lack of return is substantial as demonstrated by competent financial evidence. So you show that you're losing money, not only are you losing money, that you're like losing a lot of money with no alternatives, you know? The hardship of property, is unique. So it doesn't apply to a substantial portion of the neighbor district or neighborhood. One of the things that really is a challenge for this, like, uniqueness is like using COVID and the market changes as a hardship, right? Because we have hundreds of properties here that have gone through the same thing. The building that I just rented in a couple of days, we did all the work during COVID. It was twice as expensive.
yeah.
And they're all still rented and they're all still gonna give returns. It's not unique to your situation that COVID happened and prices went up.
Sure.
So it's like, it's really hard to use that as a argument for hardship.
And for,
Just everybody went through that.
Yeah.
and for certain, we are not unsympathetic to the
Yeah.
fact that you incurred significant costs and, I mean, I understand, I truly do. That my feeling is that, you know, you may have an opportunity in the not too distant future to revisit this as the code updates, which it's going to within, you know, I would say within a year, we should probably have a new code, and I think it's not going to be restricted to hotel.
Yeah, that whole way, I mean, there are restrictions on short-term rentals and you can find that information on the Engage Kingston or Imagine Kingston websites. And read about how the short-term rentals will be managed under the new code. When, still if, but most likely when it is adopted. But there will, your particular situation, from a policy standpoint, the city is not very sympathetic to, because the goal is to allow short-term rentals primarily for owner-occupied people, right? You live in a house, you don't go there, you winter somewhere else, you want to rent your house for like a month or two, something like that, like, if you want to rent a room or you have like an accessory apartment or something like that, you would be generally allowed to do short-term rental, those things. Dedicated short-term rental properties are limited, and we're already over the cap that they're limited to. So, and people who already had short-term rentals before the change in I think it was like July 1st, those people are automatically because it's considered pre-existing non-conforming, they're already on the list. There's already more than the cap that exists in the city, so until those things change and the market changes significantly, that those go back to full-term rentals or permanent housing, you'll be at the end of a waiting list.
So even
With the new code,
I thought they weren't gonna be able to require,
Yeah, I would just say that there's a lot of potential there. There's what's being proposed as the code, but there's a lot of potential for changes to what's being
right.
proposed.
Yeah.
So focusing, one thing that is almost certain is there is going to be some sort of change. But what that change is gonna be, I don't think any of us can really speak to it now. But right now, given the current code, if you go through each one of these things, and particularly you're gonna have to show, go through, every other possible permitted use and show each of these things that you can't realize a reasonable return, or, that there's undue hardship to all these other permitted uses.
There's a reason why the bar is so high for use.
Because if they just granted them, that's spot zoning, it completely defeats the whole purpose of zoning. So it's very rare, and usually it's when it's a unique property that has some sort of condition that's different from other properties in the area. Such as, it was a non-conforming lot or something that can't be used for similar uses as the other properties.
Donna, do you have anything you want to add to this conversation?
Well, I just want to say I'm really sorry he spent all that money and his value on that house is not what it's supposed to be. And he's a little underwater, so, that's really unfortunate. But as everyone else had said, it's not a good idea to think about doing short-term rental at this point because of the new code that's going to be coming in. So I agree with what Brian had said about going 30, 90 days. You might be better off seeing at least something for your troubles at this particular point in time.
Okay, at this juncture, I'm going to ask if anybody wants to make a motion to either approve or deny this application.
Okay, withdraw it first before we do that and wait.
That's an option.
You have that option.
You do have that option. And then there isn't a denial on the record. You can withdraw your application and revisit it at another time. But I don't.
We don't know when the new code's going to.
Well, I don't even,
Well,
it wouldn't even,
It would
the
be.
new code wouldn't even come into play.
Yeah, once the new code's adopted, if you did need a
Different
use
variance.
variance, it would be a different variance request because you're talking about a different section of the code, so it would be entirely moved. Gotcha, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, if you want to withdraw, you can. If not, we will rule on what's before us, which is your request for a use variance. So how do you?
Sure. I
Okay,
think I know what the answer is now.
Well, then I'll make a motion to deny the variance.
I'll second it.
sorry.
No, no,
So,
I appreciate
And-
it. I learned a lesson.
All in favor?
Yeah, he's getting to it.
I'm ready, ready.
All those in favor? So, and Mary, you seconded it?
yes, I did.
You got a voting sheet on this?
Yeah, they were right here in front of me and then it disappeared.
That's how you work out.
No, I'm serious.
Very, is it very sorry,
When
this
you got-
this site you want to look up, it's called Furnished
It
Finders.
was right behind the agenda. I had it here.
Wait, is
I
this
didn't
your,
see it.
is that your stack? That's yours?
I
No,
didn't
this is
see
fine.
anything here.
It's called Furnished Finders. And they also have a sister site called Traveling. Is that, no, sorry, it's all in one.
What's all in that?
Is it under your?
So Furnished Finders is what you're looking for, and it's a great site, and because of the hospital and the new medical village, we get a lot of traveling medical professionals. And although it won't yield you maybe necessarily the same exact amount as the
It was right there.
as the Airbnb, I will tell you one thing, you'll have a lot less costs and time and changing over rooms and all that stuff. And to be honest with you, I think if you do the math on what it
I had it right here.
costs to do all that and the activation, you may end up,
I agree, I didn't want to go with short-term rental in the beginning, but it's.
What was your goal for the house?
I wanted to rent it out, but
So why change it from two-family to one-family?
I had it right here on the table.
The one family, the rooms were the size of boxes.
Oh, the two-family, yeah, yeah.
They converted it previously from the two families, one family.
So you make sure.
Oh, it got swept up in,
Over here.
it got swept up in my paper.
There's a doctor's or combination renting it, so.
Well, one of the things, great, one of the things that you,
Sorry about that.
you are permitted to operate a rooming house. You could long-term rent.
In the R2, in the R2 district,
No, what is that?
currently.
That's all,
I don't know, R2 and the R3 allows for boarding houses. Nobody else
Okay.
does.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's right.
video, we adjourn.
Hey, no, we're not, oh, yeah, we gotta adjourn.
Are we adjourning?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Under the new code, you will be allowed to do one house.
Oh, okay,
So you can rent individual homes.
okay, great, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, that's gonna be allowed almost everywhere.
Hey, Donna, take care.
Well, thank you for your
Good
time.
seeing you.
Yeah,
Well,
hi.
Good to see you.